وآل محمد.
We commemorate the tragedy of the eldest son of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who was of course Ali al-Akbar, who I'm sure has a deep place in every heart of every lover of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And I think one thing which is beautifully tragic about this tragedy is how multiple periods in history and multiple personalities in history came together in this one moment, which was a strike upon the head of Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam. Because they say that Ali al-Akbar, he was one who resembled most Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, almost the mirror image. And when he would recite adhan, they say, if I'm not mistaken, his voice would remind people of the voice of Rasulullah. So when they struck Ali al-Akbar, it's as if they struck Rasulullah himself. And secondly, we know there's a famous saying of Imam Hussein alayhi salam attributed to him, where he says, if I had 1,000 sons, I would name them all Ali. As we see that of his many sons, all of whom, if I'm not mistaken, were called Ali. Ali al-Akbar, Ali Zain al-Abidin, Ali al-Asghar, and many others. And it's as if when he saw the strike upon the head of Akbar, he remembered the strike upon the head of his father, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, that fatal day in Kufa. And it's as if he says, how many Alis must I see struck in one lifetime? So I want you to bring these ideas together in your head, including the love and the wilayah of Imam Ali that we all have in our hearts. Because when you think about Ali al-Akbar, we think about Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. When we think about the reason why Imam Hussein was there in Karbala, we think about what the enemy were telling him, that we are here to avenge who? We are here to avenge our fathers and grandfathers, who your father killed at Badr and Uhud. We are here to avenge those who your father Ali killed. So ultimately he was there because of their hatred for Amir al-Mu'mineen. And it's almost as if they wanted another Ali to strike upon his head, and they found Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam. And it's here that Imam Hussein, with no family, he calls out proudly, saying, if I had 1,000 sons, I would name them all Ali. With no family, he calls out proudly, saying, if I had 1,000 sons, I would name them all Ali. By the son of Ali, Hussein, we will never leave Ali. By the son of Ali, we will never leave Ali. By our guide Muhammad, who never told a lie. By the tears for his grandson that on the eye lie. By the household that never once uttered I lie. By the awaited Savior to whom we ally. By these moons never late, and by these suns never early. Not a lie, in our eyes lies the words allied to Ali. By our guide Muhammad, who never told a lie. By the tears for his grandson that on the eye lie. By the household that never once uttered the words I lie. By the awaited Savior, the Mahdi, to whom we ally. By these moons never late, and by these suns never early. Not a lie, on our lies you'll find the words allied to Ali, because the eye never lies. Written on our eyes are the words, we'll never leave Ali, even if every eye dies. To prove that we are with Ali, we swear it by Ali. Against 70,000, Hussein cried out, Haydar. Against 70,000, Hussein cried out, Haydar. A pride that slept in his blood and none could hide her. Against the whole world he held the pride of his leader. He replied when they cried that we shall avenge Badr, he said, Ali is my leader, and no one could be prouder. Against 70,000 he cried out Haydar, a pride that slept in his blood, and no one else could hide her. Against the world he still held the pride of his leader. He replied when they cried that we shall avenge Badr, he said, Ali is my leader, and no one could be prouder. Ali killed 35 for vengeance they would strive, and yet 1,000 years later Ali is still alive, always living as Ali. No one can defeat Ali. His allegiance is not a choice, rather it flows in the blood. His allegiance is not a choice, rather it flows in the blood. All were created from mud, but we were created from Ali's mud. His allegiance is not a choice, rather it flows in the blood. All were created from mud, but we were created from Ali's mud. The father of dust became to dust a beloved, and he turned every grain of dust into a rosebud. The eye's gaze stays fixed on whatever the eye has loved. The eye's gaze stays fixed on whatever the eye has loved, and against the shore of Ali you will see that his lovers flood, just like skin and hair. Just like skin and hair, or like breathing and air. His name is fused with our blood and comforts all despair. In the bloodstream is Ali, inseparable Ali. To Hussein, his father was not just a parent. Their connection was a secret and not something apparent. To Hussein, his father was not just a parent. Their connection was a secret and not apparent. If Ali was the perfume, then Hussein was the scent. If Ali was the perfume, then Hussein was the scent. If Ali was the memory, then Hussein was the moment. Against the world with Ali, he still stood defiant, just as we have held on to Ali all this time. Despite our torment, he saw Ali's worth. We saw Ali's worth, and we cried with our birth that we are with Ali even if we are against the turn of the earth. When all hated Ali, we still stood beside Ali. Seeing the strike on the head of Ali al-Akbar, Hussein remembers the strike upon his father. Seeing the strike upon the head of Ali al-Akbar, Hussein remembers the strike upon his father. Like the strike on his father, and yet like no other, the strike does not reach his skull, rather it reaches further. Seeing the strike upon the head of Ali al-Akbar, Hussein remembers the strike upon his father. Like the strike upon his father, and yet like no other, the strike does not reach his skull, but it reaches further. To the name Ali, no other was worthier. They wanted to kill Ali, and they found another. And all Hussein sees are the two Alis. Two memories clashed together, just like the clash of seas. The son he'd named Ali had become like Ali. From the love of his father, daily Hussein would sip. From the love of his father, daily he would sip. Ali was on his tongue. Ali was on his tongue, and Ali was on each lip. Against the sea of enemies, just like a warship. Against the sea of enemies, just like a warship. He cries out, remembering Ali's worship. Seeking Ali's love, arrows into his chest they rip. Seeking Ali's love, arrows into the chest of Hussein rip, until the ship of salvation boarded Ali's ship. And still, this Hussein, upon Karbala's plains, he cries out still, Ali is my heart and my soul and every vein. And headless, he meets Ali in the love of Ali. Headless, he meets Ali in the love of علي. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.